Will this morning hand over its functions to the newly established Nairobi Metropolitan Services Team headed by Major General Abdallah Badi. Badi was appointed by the national government to run the city affairs. Let us now speak to our reporter Duncan Haimba about the new bosses at City Hall. Duncan Haimba, good morning. So break it down for us how we expect things to start running differently now that the national government has taken over, the functions of Nairobi county government.
Brenda, it is a change of guard at Nairobi after many years. Those that have been calling shots or those that have been running the county or the capital have been a clique of what initially were referred to as councillors, then transitioned to MCAs and the county governor. Initially, of course, councillors were running with the mayor. Now came MCAs with the governor. And now a military officer has been appointed by the national government in a bid to take over Nairobi in what many are saying as a Nairobi County Rescue Plan or Rescue Package. We saw what the president outlined when the official handover or transfer functions was done at State House 2 days ago. And the president said Nairobi is a capital. Nairobi has been limping. It is time that something radical needs to take place. Of course, he said that initially there were plans by the committee that was called the Nairobi Regeneration Committee that had been put forward to lend a hand to the Nairobi County government, and the president said that unfortunately the Regeneration Committee did not live to execute what they intended to do at that particular time, and therefore when he created Nairobi Metropolitan Services and named a director general, a military man. Of course, he said that he's giving them specifically 100 days to turn Nairobi around. Top on his agenda, he said, the lethal cartels that have held hostage running and delivery of services in the capital have or must be vanquished. I don't know whether those ones were supposed to be ran out of town within 100 days, but it's top of the agenda. And then to end what he called endemic corruption at City Hall. That is the directive the commander-in-chief gave to the Major General Mohammed Abdallah Badi. We do understand that he already hit the ground running even before the official handover. Yesterday morning, we woke up to pictures that that very night he was sighted at Mudhurwa with the help of NYS, trying to clean the city, pick garbage. And then today, now officially, he will be handed over those functions by Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala. So it will herald a new dawn in the county of Nairobi. Brenda.
Haimba, taking over some functions of the Nairobi County government comes amid, questions and opposition and, people running to court. So what will the president do, should the courts go ahead and say that the due process was not followed? And the due process here, I'm talking about involving the public, the Senate, and, and the MCAs at the county assembly. Because what done?
I guess it will be an exercise in futility on two grounds. One, there's a clear provision in the Constitution that calls for transfer functions to either level of government. County governments can take over functions that are discharged by the national government if they prove that they're in a better position to do that. And vice versa, the national government can take over functions that initially were under the purview of the county governments to be executed and discharged by the national government. So there is that provision in the Constitution. Insofar as public participation, of course, we know that after the announcement or the intent that the national government would be taking over the functions, there was a public participation exercise that was conducted, and that was confirmed by the president at State House 2 days ago when they were officially signing the handover of functions. And we saw, of course, the legal advisor to the government, Attorney General Paul Kihara, stating categorically and explicitly that anything that needed to be done in accordance with the law has been done. Of course, we saw the Senate Speaker there witnessed that. We saw the President. We saw devolution CS Eugene Wamalwa, who is a legal mind, witnessing that. But the Attorney General was there, and all the county legal officers participated. And therefore, the obstacle that initially had been raised was the issue of public participation, which has since been done. The only opposition that stands in the way of what will be the implementation that starts in 2 hours' time at 11 when the official handover is done is the fact that we saw the Secretary General for County Government Workers, Robert Duba, are saying that there's no clear framework on what happens to the workforce. For instance, the Kenya Revenue Authority already had put an advertisement in the Standard Daily and stated that all employees that have been working in Revenue Department to report at KRA with their documentations or with their credentials for verification and possible absorption because KRA will now take over the functions of collecting revenue. But Robert Doba told them not to go. But it could be what you would say water under the bridge, because it is now official, the functions have been transferred. Of course, Duba was raising critical questions that what happens to the workforce? Is it secondment? Even if it's secondment, there has to be an agreement, a labor, in accordance with the labor laws and regulations, that there must be some sort of negotiations. What happens, under what terms are they being transferred? But be that as it may, it could as well be what you'd say kicks of a dying horse, because already the train has left the station, so to speak, and it is a reality that a general is taking over functions at the City Hall, Nairobi. Brenda.
Duncan Haimba, thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you about matters developing here in Nairobi County. Taking